Okay, guys, so now we're going to look at the responsive animation abilities within Drift and Drift Pro. Now, they're very different how they function or how useful they are. The functionality is the same, but how useful they are is very different between Drift and Drift Pro. So let's have a look at the normal Drift. Here's a Drift Animate stack. And you probably noticed all the way at the bottom is this responsive setting. So essentially this says responsive, medium, and large. And what this says is this animation is going to happen at medium and large. So if we look at this animation, we'll see that on desktop, this animation happens. Yet if we go to the iPhone view and we look at this on the iPhone, you'll notice that the animation does not happen. Okay. Now, one thing I should note is that all of this logic happens on page load. So since I loaded this preview in mobile view, if I were to resize it up to desktop, it doesn't magically happen. I'd have to refresh and go to that view, and then it will work. Okay, so these don't trigger off of browser resize. Essentially, it's on page load. It checks to see what device you're on, and if you are on, in this case, medium and large, the animation will run. So with the normal Drift stacks, this essentially allows you to turn on animation or turn off animation on particular breakpoints, but doesn't allow you to customize the animation on a per breakpoint basis. We can, however, do that with Drift Pro. And let's look at this demo. So in this second demo, we'll see that I'm animating this green box. And here I have the first animation is set to small only, and it animates to the right 300 pixels. But if I look at the second one, I have a different setting for medium and large, and that animates at 600 pixels. And because Drift Pro and Drift Timeline exist outside of your content, they're kind of like animation swatches, we can have this really great logic where you can then, customize the animation for each device, all within your timeline. So let's have a look at that. So here we are on desktop view, and if I go ahead and run this animation, it moves over 600 pixels. And if we load it on iPhone, we'll notice that, here we go, it only goes 300 pixels. So, hey everybody, this is Joe, the day after I just recorded what you watched. And if you noticed, the settings here were set to be only working inside Foundation 6. So, however, I thought better of that, and I wanted to make sure that everyone, no matter what theme you're using, was able to have some sort of responsive animation settings. So while all the easy to use Foundation 6, the small only, medium, large, small, medium, medium, large things are all there, there is now a new custom setting that will work in any theme. So when you set this to be custom, and this is actually useful for even Foundation 6 users, because then now you can set custom breakpoints, right? But you can set a minimum and maximum value to where this animation is going to run. Now, if you set maximum to 0, that essentially disables maximum. So in this case here, anything that's 640 pixels and above will run this animation. If you want, let's say just mobile, you would set this to be minimum 600, maximum 640, and that would probably set up all small devices. Okay, so this allows us to do custom breakpoints. It allows us to define the animation in any theme to work on custom breakpoints. And all of these are in both Drift Pro and Drift. So hope you enjoy these. They're pretty awesome, and it will work now in any theme. Now, before I go, I should note that there is a possibility with some animations, okay, to nest Drift Animate stacks, okay, and then do the responsive nature here. So let's say in this particular one, I want it to be small only, and let's keep it to 300. And then this one here, medium large, we're going to make it 500. Okay. This works with some animations. This will not work in all animation types. It depends on the animation you're trying to accomplish. It's hard to explain, but there are circumstances where this will work, and there are some circumstances where nesting drift stacks inside of each other won't. So let's have a look at this particular example here. As we see here, I'm using a rotate, and rotates do not work with nesting drifts inside of each other very well. However, if we were to just go ahead and however, if we were to turn the rotation aspect off and we just had the move, it should work fairly well. There we go. All right, so enjoy the responsive settings inside Drift, and thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying Drift. Go out there and make something great. Bye.